walk you through some of the advanced features within Google Drive. The first one I'd like to point out is something that's really basic but can be really helpful. When you go up to the New button and you create a new folder, it'll be located up here under Folders. Depending on how you have your layout, whether you have it in list view or grid view, however your preference is, you can look and see all your folders typically stay at the top and your files come underneath. So each one of these right now is gray by default. You'll notice that you'll see forms, docs, sheets, all of those icons will be different colors based on their tool that you created in. But some people like to use basic colors to kind of organize. So what I can do is I can just change the color of my folders just as a quick, easy organization tool. Sometimes that helps, especially when you start to have a lot of Drive folders in which I do. Here are a bunch of different Drive folders that I have, tons and tons and tons. If I have these color coded, I might be able to go through a little bit easier and see those folders. So by color coding, you might be able to start to make a more cohesive, organized drive. But remember that you always have your really powerful search tool up here at the top that you can put your search term. You can choose one of the different file types that you're looking at. You can also do an advanced search in which you choose the file type, who the owner is, where the location might be, and then any of the other helpful information that you have. So the search tool can be really helpful if you do start to have a kind of clogged up Google Drive, but that color coding is just a nice, quick, easy way to manage what you've got. The next thing I wanted to show you over here along the left-hand side, you have priority, you have My Drive, Shared Drives, and Shared with Me. So I'm going to kind of explain those different places. So the first one I'm going to talk about is the My Drive. So those are things that you have created and authored and organized the way in which you want. So that's the place that you have full access to. You have full rights over those things. If you upload or add something new, they're going to be located in My Drive. Each of these arrows here will be able to drop down any of the folders, and then you can again look at subfolders and things like that. Your shared drive is going to be organization-wide drives that you have been assigned to. They're going to be very similar to OneDrive or SharePoint, in which those are group files that you'll have access to go in and collaborate on within based on the program or the organization that you're part of. The shared with me files are going to be things that, like it says, have been shared with you. So when you go into your sharing settings and you share a document or a file with somebody, if you type in their email address, it would be located in the shared with me section. That person will also have been notified via email, but if you need to go back and look at something that's been shared with you and maybe move it around or organize it into your drive, you can do that here. The priority section is the last section that I wanted to share about. This is a great place to kind of focus your work. So priority is going to show you things that you've recently opened or things based on some kind of computer algorithms that think that you might need access to regularly. You also have what's called a workspace. So a workspace is going to be basically just a place similar to a folder where you can have a visual record of things that you work on often. So maybe if you're a classroom teacher and you have something for your grade book, something for attendance, something for, your daily schedule or your assignment notebook, all of those things could be listed under a workspace because those are things you're going to on a regular basis. You have this quick, easy visual of where those things are. These workspaces are just for you. They are not going to be collaborative, even though individual documents within might be collaborative. Workspaces are going to be for you. So think of it as if you are sitting at a desk and you have some file folders on your desk that you have some papers in, this is going to be your folder that's sitting on your desk of things you use often. You can have workspaces. You can also have hidden workspaces. Those are going to be, if you just don't want them right here on the main screen, you can hide them down here just to kind of get out of your way. So this is kind of a nice landing page as kind of a home page for things that you use often, things that you go to often. But again, remember, you can always go to My Drive. You can search throughout your other drives. You can search within all of your drives. You can even mark items as starred, which are going to again give priority access to those things depending on how your organization and brain kind of functions through that and your executive functioning. You can use these different tools in different ways to help support your workflow. The last thing I wanted to walk through was the sharing settings. So when you come in here to sharing, you're going to be able to type in different people. You can give them editing access and things like that. Once I come in here and click send, I'll be able to go back into my sharing settings and I'll be able to change some different people, some different access. So one of the things that's nice here is I can change her to viewer. I can change her to just making suggestions on this document. I can give her editing access. I can also grant temporary access. The temporary access is nice because it will only give her, you can set your timer to a certain day or time that you will remove access to this file. You can set her, whether she's a viewer till a certain time. You can always remove this expiration date at another time. But you'll notice here that that's really powerful if you've got, a final draft of something that needs to go live and you don't want people to be able to access it after a certain day. The last thing I wanted to share with you in here was the ability for editors to be able to make changes and permissions, and also for viewers and commenters to be able to change and download, print, and copy those files that you have. So depending on confidentiality and things like that, you might change your sharing settings depending on organization versus member districts versus out of district or parents or things like that. So again, you've got your sharing settings. Down here, you can give people links or you can change the settings. So do I want to make it anyone within an organization? Do I want to restrict it? Or do I want to make it live on the web? Anyone that comes across this link could access this document. So again, those are your sharing settings, but for the most part, Drive is a fairly user-friendly, easy tool to access. There aren't that many advanced features, but some of the ones that I pointed out today can really help with the workflow of what you're using Drive for.